Today I rise in this House to add the voice of the New Democratic Party to the profound apology being offered humbly to First Nations, Métis, and Inuit on behalf of the Canadian people. I wish to acknowledge and honour the elders who are with us here today and are participating in this ceremony, the length and breadth of this land at this very moment. J'aimerais rendre hommage aux chefs des Premières Nations, des Métis et des Inuits qui sont ici avec nous et à tous ceux qui guident leur communauté en cette journée difficile, émotive, importante et pleine d'espoir. I wish to recognize the children here in this chamber today and watching at home and in gatherings across the land who also bear witness to the legacy of the residential schools. Most importantly, I want to say to the survivors of the residential schools, some of whom have joined us here today, we are sorry for what has taken place. Aujourd'hui, nous marquons un moment très important pour le Canada. C'est le moment où nous, en tant que Parlement, en tant que pays, assumons la responsabilité d'une des époques les plus honteuses de notre histoire. C'est le moment pour dire enfin, nous nous excusons. Et c'est le moment où nous commençons à bâtir un avenir partagé sur un pied d'égalité en nous appuyant sur le respect mutuel et la vérité. It was this Parliament that enacted 151 years ago the racist legislation that established the residential schools. This Parliament chose to treat First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people as not equally human. It set out to kill the Indian in the child. That choice was wrong, horribly wrong. It led to incredible suffering. It denied First Nations, Métis, and Inuit the basic freedom to choose how to live their lives. For those wrongs that we have committed, we are truly sorry. Our choice denied their children the love and nurturing of their own families and communities. Cela a privé ces enfants de la fierté et de l'estime de soi qui découle de l'apprentissage de son patrimoine et sa langue, sa culture et ses traditions. En plus de ces blessures, notre négligence, les soins de santé inadéquats, les mauvais traitements et les sévices sexuels qui ont porté atteinte à tant d'enfants et qui en ont tué. Ceux qui ont survécu ont appris, à cause des politiques du Canada, à avoir honte de ce qu'ils sont. Pour ces actions néfastes, nous nous excusons. L'héritage des pensionnats jette une ombre sur notre pays. Cela a déchiré des familles et des communautés pendant des générations, et cela se fait toujours sentir très personnellement. Nearly every First Nations person of my age that I have met is a survivor. Many are also the children of survivors. Un de ces enfants m'a parlé de sa mère, un cri de nord du Québec, à qui on a enlevé 12 de ses 14 enfants. Son frère est mort dans un pensionnat, mais on n'a jamais expliqué pourquoi ni comment à sa mère. On ne lui a jamais dit où son fils était enterré. Il n'a pas eu le droit de se rendre hommage à sa vie, ni à sa mort. Et elle n'a pas pu faire son deuil, ni faire ses derniers adieux à son enfant. comme toute mère doit le faire. Many years later, her daughter was working in Northern Ontario, and she happened to mention the story of her brother to a local. He said, "I know where your brother is buried." They went to the graveyard, and he pointed to a spot beside a headstone and said, "Your brother is buried here, unmarked." The pain inflicted by the residential schools is deeply felt by these children who were forced to attend and by the parents who had their children stolen from them. And it is still felt in the First Nations communities, Métis communities, Inuit communities across the country. Le déchirement des liens familiaux et communautaires, les blessures psychologiques, la perte du langue et la culture et l'éducation inférieure ont tous mené à la pauvreté généralisée qui sévit dans les communautés des Premières Nations, des Métis et des Inuits aujourd'hui. The horrors of the residential schools continue to harm even those who never experienced them personally. There can be no equivocation. The laws consciously enacted in this House put the residential schools into place and kept them going for many years. And it is in this House that we must start the process of reconciliation. That is why we are here together today, and why we are here together to say we are sorry. This is a crucial first step. But reconciliation must be built through positive steps that show respect and restore trust. This apology must not be an end, it must be a beginning. Monsieur le Président, il faut s'engager à ne jamais permettre qu'un tel parodie de justice, une telle transgression de l'égalité se reproduise. Cela commence en reconnaissant officiellement les droits et les cultures des Premières Nations, des Métis et des Inuits, et en signant la Déclaration de l'ONU sur les droits des peuples autochtones. But reconciliation also means that as a parliament and as a country, we must take action to address the terrible inequality faced by First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities. We can start by restoring the nation-to-nation relationship between the Government of Canada, First Nations, Métis, and the Inuit. Even as we speak here today, thousands of Aboriginal children are without proper schools or clean water, adequate food, their own bed, good health care, safety, comfort, land, and rights. We can no longer throw up our hands and say there's nothing we can do. Taking responsibility and working towards reconciliation means saying we must act together to resolve this. Let's reverse the horrific and shameful statistics afflicting Aboriginal populations now, the high rates of poverty, suicide, poor or no education, overcrowding, crumbling housing, unsafe drinking water. And let's make sure that every survivor of the residential schools receives the recognition and compensation that is due to them.